The Youth Assembly of Nigerian is the apex youth decision-making body for the enhancement of peace and youth development in Nigeria. It runs a legislative system of government with conglomeration of all state youth ambassadors as parliamentarians. YAN has 37 youth ambassadors, each representing the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT Abuja. On this episode of the program, our focus is the configuration of the BORNO State Youth Assembly. And guess who we have on the program this week is the Speaker, BORNO State Youth Parliament, Right Honorable ABUBAKAR TIJANI. He will join us shortly when we return. At this juncture, I welcome you to another informative episode of the program, Young Parliamentarians. I'm your host, Joshua Ogujide. Welcome back. The Youth Assembly of Borno State came to existence in the 90s but started functioning around 2011 to year 2012. It was configured to have a standard system carrying leadership at the national level as well as state. YAN is exactly the same as state assemblies, seen in terms of leadership and rankings as well, having Speaker as the leader, followed by the Deputy Speaker, Majority Leader, Minority Leader, Chief Whip, Clerk, all of which are having several functions or duties in the Assembly. As earlier mentioned, the Speaker of Borno State Youth Parliament is joining us on Zoom to do justice to this discourse. Welcome on board, Mr. Speaker. How is Meduguru today?
Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua. Meduguri is perfectly fine.
Okay. Let me start on this note. How did you begin your political career? How did you start your political career? Did you just start as a lawmaker, or you started, from a smaller platform?
Yeah, initially I started since my secondary school days when I started becoming head prefect from secondary school, and later after concluding my secondary school I started joining organizations, partaking as member of the organization, becoming secretary, chairman of various clubs and organizations. So I think that's the starting point of my career in political journey.
Okay. This little experience that you've just shared with us, how did it nourish your zeal to the point of being, the Speaker of the 4th Assembly of Borno State Youth Parliament?
Borno State Youth Assembly, as per se, not Youth Parliament, because we have Youth Parliament and we have Youth Assembly. So, going by your question, by participating in various clubs and associations, I found myself in the Youth Assembly of Nigeria, where I served as the senator representing Borno Central and the senatorial district, which led to my emergence as the Speaker of the 4th Assembly. I was senator in the 3rd Assembly, and looking at our activities, the kind of programs and projects we came up with during the 3rd Assembly, it inspired me and motivated me as to join the 4th Assembly and emerge as the Speaker so that I can contribute my part in the 4th Assembly.
Going forward, let's move to the dynamics of your assembly. What makes the leadership of this current 4th session unique? Comparing it with, when you compare it with the previous ones, what makes your 4th Assembly unique?
Yeah, I can say the 4th Assembly became so unique and it distinguished itself from the previous assembly by its leadership, I can say. So much to mention. However, they are not limited, but composition and representation is also part, legislative and development also part, and then collaboration with the state agencies, and then local organizations, including international organizations. That also distinguishes us from the past parliament, because in the 4th Assembly, we put all our efforts to see that we extend the collaborative aspect of the assembly, not only limited to government, that is Ministry of Youth, Sport and Development, but rather extended to local NGOs and international NGOs, as to implement so lot of projects and programs, so that at the end of the day, not only government will be the supporting force of the Fourth Assembly, but other local NGOs, international NGOs as well, or esteemed personalities.
Okay, when you're talking about a collaboration with government agencies, NGOs and what have you, what about the State House of Assembly in Borno? How are you collaborating with the State House of Assembly? Having in mind that they are what I call them senior legislators, that you're forming, the legislative arm of government together in the state.
Yes. Initially, we have two tiers. Number one tier is the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Development. And then number two tier is the Borno State House of Assembly. So for the
meaning you're taking it from both the executive and the legislature.
Exactly. So from the part of Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, we do the executive aspect with them. And when it comes for practicing our legislative processes, then we engage with the State House of Assembly. And quite sure the Borno State House of Assembly Speaker and all the honorable members, including the clerk of the House himself, are giving us their maximum support to not only see that we are doing better, but far better than expected. Because we are allowed to have our sessions in their hallowed chambers, and also we are allowed to have our meetings in their common rooms whenever the need arises. Whenever we write letter to the Honorable Speaker that we have meeting, we have engagement in the State Assembly, they provide us space so that conveniently we can carry out our project, our programs there without any hindrance. So I can say the State House of Assembly, we have a very large cooperation, and then we work simultaneously with them hand in hand.
Okay, so still talking about your uniqueness, your collaboration and what have you. In what ways, talking about your programs and policies, have you impacted the lives of your constituents in Borno?
We have impacted so many lives, so to say, despite having zero budgetary allocations as assembly, I can say. We have tried our best to see that we have impacted numerous lives, ranging from the young people and even at some aspects the older ones, I can say. Because embarking on the Fourth Assembly during my first year, because now we are in the second year, during my first year, we came up with a lot of programs, which includes visitation to hospitals to support our younger ones that are needy and have no means to cater for their treatments and what have you. So we shown Children's Day celebration in the year 2024, and we opted to visit hospitals, special state specialist hospital in Maiduguri, notably, and we supported the younger ones. So also we visited one Abaganaram primary school immediately after the flooding, where we distributed series of uniforms and exercise books plus writing materials to support them and cater for their immediate needs, because the flood affected a whole lot of the residents in Maiduguri, and that caused the reason to missing their uniforms, exercise books, and lots more. So as youth representatives, we decided to come up with hundreds of uniforms, visited Bangetu Primary School, the Abaganaram, we distributed the same. So also we distributed hundreds of hygiene kits to adolescent girls, also in Shahurinot community ward in the same Maiduguri metropolis of Borno State. So these are just a very few of our interventions, and I believe this impacted numbers of life of individuals in the state.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, time now to pause for some messages. The program returns shortly after this break. Just stay with us.
NTA Parliament is a dedicated 24-hour channel that broadcasts the activities of the Nigerian Senate, Federal House of Representatives, and all the 36 state houses of assembly. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, the program is Young Parliamentarians showing on NT Parliament, Abuja. We've been discussing the first session of the BORNO State Youth Parliament with Speaker ABUBAKAR TIJANI. And viewers, you can also join the conversation on the platform showing on your screen. Moving on, the Children's Parliament is regarded as a legislative platform to catch future leaders young. Is the fourth session seeing this crucial in its inclusivity of legislation, Mr. Speaker, the Children's Parliament?
Yes, most definitely. The Children's Parliament are doing wonderfully well, especially in our state, because one of us, notably known as Zanna Sunoma, is now the Deputy Speaker at the national level. And you can bear me witness that the Children's Parliament are doing wonderfully well, because we do engage them in lots more of our programs and projects. We do invite them. They do attend our program sessions and programs. So whenever they need our intervention in whatever aspect of their programs, also they reach out to us, and so also we give them our destiny. Yes, we train them, and we have a mutual understanding and cordial relationship as to help them become future leaders as well.
You mentioned something earlier on, before we went on break, that yours is BORNO State Youth Assembly, not BORNO State Youth Parliament. What are the differences, and does this play out in the category of children? Do we have children assembly, children parliament in BORNO?
Yes, the Youth Assembly of Nigeria has its own different kind of leadership positions, and as well the Youth Parliament. The Youth Parliament is different platform, the Youth Assembly is different platform, and Children's Parliament is different platform. So in the case of the Children's Parliament, are our very younger ones that are from primary schools that join the crew of participation in Parliament. While for the Youth Assembly of Nigeria, we are initially under the Federal Ministry of Youth, Sport and Development, while the Youth Parliament are care of National Assembly. Just recently, 1 month ago, they had their inauguration at National Assembly, while the national leadership of the Youth Assembly of Nigeria, 2 to 3 weeks ago, they also had their own at Army Resource Center in Abuja. So the differences are the Youth Assembly of Nigeria fall under the Federal Ministry of Youth Development directs, while the Youth Parliament fall under the National Assembly directs. So the cares are different, but in most cases we play the same role and training ground.
Now, I'll go back to your background. Having been exposed to foreign education and environment, your schools abroad, who do you regard, as a source of motivation, and in what circumstances? You've traveled wide, you've met people.
Yeah, definitely. I can say my source of motivation, just with being traveling abroad and what have you, I can say my source of motivation will still remain my father, because looking up to him as a role model whom has inspired me day by night, giving me courage and motivation to not relent and give my best to my education, because with the education comes everything after. So with the kind of support he has given me and been giving me, I can definitely say and stand to say again that he seemed to be, or he is for sure, my role model, and looking up to him as I go.
What about, people, these big wigs, in politics, big names
In
in politics
Borno,
coming out of
yes.
Borno. We have the Vice President Kashim Shettima, we have he was a former governor, and the present governor, Governor Zulum, is an example.
Yes.
We have senators coming out, Kakashiu, Senator Mungunu.
Wow, I am very proud that you are aware of our senators. I can say His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, could be a very great role model and inspirational leader, not only for me, but for our younger generations. Looking at the cordiality between him and Professor Zulum, for retaining this good relationship after leaving the seat of governorship for almost over 4 years and then becoming the vice president. Maintaining this relationship is, something very difficult for our predecessors and successors in Nigeria. But looking at how His Excellency Kashim Shettima maintained this relationship up to this level is something I can say worthy of emulation. Not only that, his inspirational leadership styles are quite amazing. Going by how he has been impacting lives of a lot of young people and how he has been bringing the young people closer to him, I can say Kashim Shettima is one of the greatest leaders, followed by His Excellency Professor Zulum. Professor Zulum also is trying his utmost best to bringing the young people closer to him and carrying everybody. Despite the many challenges that faced Borno State in terms of insecurity and lots more, Professor Zulum spends most of his time serving his people. Late hours in the night, he doesn't just go off bed. He gives his time, because you can see Professor Zulum can give appointment to whole lot of numerous people. You can find him in the office even 12 a.m. That's midnight. He can give appointment 1 a.m. So looking at their qualities of leadership and their relationships with the vice president, I can say these two gentlemen are worthy of emulation and are quite inspirational leaders. And I would like to be like them when I grow.
Amazing. So you said you would like to be like them, and that brings up this next question. So far, so good. You've seen the Vice President Kashim Shettima, Professor Zulum as a governor, as role model, and citing their leadership qualities. I would say it's been amazing. I wouldn't know how this has motivated you personally, and how you see yourself in the next 10 years, in your political career. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Yeah, as you really mentioned rightly, their kind of leadership has inspired me personally and motivated me. And as I told you earlier, I would like to be like them when I grow up, to be qualitative leadership, impacting the lives of numerous people and giving back to the society. So, and in the 10 years, I cannot specifically say I will be in a sole position to mention, but by the will of God, I am definitely optimistic that I will see myself in a bigger position, serving my people in the public service sector. Not necessarily to say maybe member representing so at the federal constituency or the state level, but definitely in a bigger position.
With your experience, what lessons do you want Nigerian youth, to gain? What lessons do you want them to learn from your experience, from your journey so far in politics?
Well, the reality is one. Politics is not a place where us, the young people, can get money from. One, we should always keep this at the back of our mind. Or politics is not a place where we can come to gather money. Whenever we grow up or enter politics with such mind, that's where bad things come up and so many irregularities or what have you fall to our cost. So I will rather advise them, let us have something doing aside, maybe in terms of business aspects, in terms of entrepreneurial skill, because you can see the initiatives of President Ahmed Tinubu has come up with a lot of entrepreneurial projects like the 3MTT programs and a lot more. So I will advise my young people that even though we are participating in politics or we would love to join politics in future, let us have something doing aside as a plan or source of means of livelihood, so that the politics after joining it will take it or see it as a means to serving the public people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Abubakar Tijani, thanks for your time. Thanks for featuring on the program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua. I really appreciate it.
This is where we draw the curtain on the program for today. We hope you found it worthwhile. And for comments and inquiries, you can follow us on the platforms showing on your screen. See you next time on another episode of the program Young Parliamentarians. Again, I'm Joshua. Bye for now.